Hello, everybody. We're back for Rock Reveal. Time flies when we're having fun, doesn't it?
A month flies? I don't know about that.
Well, the month that we have it, but the last reveal was 3 months ago because we
That
do
is true.
the month of the rock, and then about 2 weeks later, we do the reveal. So it's like every 3 months. So it's fun. So four of the Rockies were able to join us, and Lewis is was a rocker this time, and I know he had fun. He was having fun looking for this. So our Rockies this time were Joan Davis, Ellen Altenberg, Kristen Williams, Elaine Martin, and Audrey Reno. Audrey couldn't be with us, but I believe she's watching right now. So, and I've noticed that some of our regulars here are here, like Anne and Patty and John and Mel. That's all I see who's posting right now. Um, Hopefully others are joining us. So we ready to see what was found for this presentation? Okay, Azure, could you go ahead and start it? Okay. Let me see. Um, Why, Azure, do I need to do something in order for it to be bigger and for me to be able to control it?
Yeah, if you just go to view, I think, and then push play, or actually up in the upper right hand corner, there's a button for slideshow. I think you can start it that way on your screen of the presentation screen.
Oh, slideshow.
Are you looking at your window?
I'm looking at the present window that has the slides, no slides.
So you're looking at your screen that has the presentation, right?
Yeah. And
You're
I
not
see
looking at
remove
the. No, you don't want to look at the StreamYard window. You want to look at your
my
window
presentation. Yes. Okay.
There you
Start
go.
from the beginning. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Okay. So the rock happened last month in September. And then this is the slide that has who the rockers were. So we had a few this time. And then our good old, the people that got rocked. So, go down. Why is it not going down? Oh, there we go. Okay. So starting with them, these are the starting CC7 numbers, the ending, how many their increase was, and the percentage. And Elaine had the biggest jump in hers. I do want to mention that in the Appalachia project a while back, we did have like a mini rock for Kristen and Audrey. I believe that might have been last year. And then Ellen received her 1K badge, and then Audrey and Elaine received their 2K badge. So we're going to start with Kristen, who's been a WikiTreeer since 2011, a member of the One Place Study Project, the Appalachia Project, the United States Project, and the Cemeteries Project, and she participates in thons. Okay, so on this one on the left hand is her CC7 at the beginning, and you can see all the holes that are in there. And then the picture on the right is the end of her CC7. And you can see there's just a little hole like right here. These kind of grayed out two that are next to each other are the direct line. So this one's out to 7 generations on the right. And this, when we started, it kind of stopped at the 6. Oh, why are you being difficult for me? Okay, so here's her fan chart when we ended. She doesn't have a lot of gaps out in the outer rim. Oh, this mouse is not. Mouse work. I am. Sorry about this. I don't know why this mouse is not wanting to work for me.
Just try using your arrow keys on the
Yeah,
keyboard.
there we go. Okay, so the first one that was found for Kristen was Caleb Klenk, who at the age of 6 moved from Germany to America. He married Mary Brunthaver, and they had 8 children in Sandusky County, Ohio. And I love how back in 1800s, how they had information on the census. So he was living on his own farm, which was worth $3,000. He plowed 60 acres and had 60 wooden area unplowed. He had $100 worth of farm equipment. He had 5 horses, 4 mules, 12 working oxen, 17 sheep, 235 acres of wheat, 350 acres of Indian corn, plus 145 acres of oats in the agricultural schedule on the 30 June 1860 in Woodville, Sandusky, Ohio, United States. And then when he died 34 years later, his farm was worth $25,000. That's a lot back in that time.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of things were always found for people. So next we go to
The
Joan.
only Clink I've ever heard of was Colonel Clink, but he was on Hogan's Hero.
That's what I was thinking of.
And I think it's spelled K-I-L-A-I-N-K, so it's a little different.
Louis, I think we're showing our age talking about Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah. Elaine doesn't know what we're talking about.
So then we move on to Joan, who's been a WikiTreeer since 2023. She's a member of the Ireland Project. She's earned the 300 days badge and has taken a DNA test. And I know that one of our members, Patty, who was a Rocky last time, has helped her with her DNA and was working on her lines again this time when he could. So again, doing her CC7 beforehand, I take it out to the 7 degrees for the before and the after. So when it doesn't go all the way out and show all the different colors, it's because it wasn't out to the yellow looking color when we started. And it filled in.
Do you remember which app that is? The color circle one?
I
know there's so many. I just clicked through a couple and I know
it's Greg's.
Ooh, I thought he had a couple.
He
that's
does.
Okay. I can find it.
The 6 Degrees app.
Ah, okay. Which
it's
now
the 6 Degrees app.
Yeah.
is the name of it. And then this is her fan chart. And I understand Ireland is hard to do just because of kind of the farther back you go, records are just very hard to find if you find them at all. And Joan's got a lot of Irish pretty quickly going back. So what was interesting was Patty had more of an impact on his own CC7 until he realized that Joan was in 7 degrees from Thomas O'Day through no less than 3 of his children, and 6 degrees apart through Patrick, 7 degrees apart through Thomas Jr., and 7 degrees apart through Jane. So again, this one has a baptism record for Thomas, and going back that far, hard to find records. I can't remember. Patty, did you say you are connected to Joan? Yes, Patty, I said your name because you worked on Joan's. Okay, so then we get to Michael Patrick Devoren, who is actually born and died in New South Wales, and he's 7 degrees from Joan. And he was relatively well known for his athletic prowess, including at foot running and high jumping, being one of Australia's first high jumpers. He is reported to have cleared the bar at 6 feet on numerous occasions. I love watching high jumping, and I think it's just incredible at what they can do when they've cleared the bars. That's one of my favorite.
Does it say how tall he is? Where he was?
It didn't say how tall he was. There was the second source on his profile was from the newspaper that's on Trove. And I just kind of read it and I'm like, what is foot running? I hadn't heard of foot running. And I kind of tried to look it up, but I'm sure one of our Australians can clarify what it is. Then we come to Ellen, who's been a WikiTreeer since 2019. She's a member of the Scotland Project, the Global Project, the Medieval Project, the England Project, and US projects. She is pre-1500 certified, which is fairly new for her, and she participates in thons. And she sent me this picture with the lovely dolphin, and I'm sorry, but I love dolphins. So that made me happy when I saw that picture for her. So then again, we have her before CC7 picture of 996, and then on the left, and the after 1555 on the right. And Ellen wanted us to find if she was descended from a Mayflower ancestor, and that did not happen, but it does not mean that it will not happen. And then her fan chat. I know Lewis did some work to try and see if there was somebody.
Sorry, didn't catch that.
Oh, that you did some work on Ellen's to see about the Mayflower descendant, if she descended from a Mayflower.
Oh, yes. I think I added that note, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I found her a descendant of the Mayflower.
Right. But you gave her, I believe, a lead that she could check out.
This is 2 weeks ago. You expect me to remember?
I know. Okay. So here's Deborah Unknown Slocum. And on this one, Family Search, Many Ancestry Trees, My Heritage, and Jeannie list her incorrectly as Deborah Perry, the daughter of Samuel Perry and Esther Tabor. The WikiTree's Mayflower Project seemed to have correctly identified Samuel and Esther Perry's daughter as Deborah Perry Jennings, who is different than this Deborah. So she's correctly listed as having the unknown surname. And this is a good example of how research notes can be used on profiles by, contacting the Mammoth County Historical Association, asked if they could help with the last name, received a response that said, I took a look and wasn't able to come up with a last name for Deborah either. Every Slocum genealogy we have lists her as Deborah with last name unknown. And unfortunately, we don't have a Bible record for this family either. And Ellen did the right thing by signing it with the 4 tildes, which puts her ID and then dates and timestamps it. So this way, people can go and look a year down the road. There may be a record that comes online that you're able to find the information. So this just notifies people, this is where I looked, and they couldn't find anything. So research notes can be very important and useful on profiles. Then we get to Nathaniel Slocum. And in My Heritage's old newspaper, the Boston Transcript, July 11th, 1904, the page identified from the Geological Center, it has a birth date and siblings for Ellen's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Samuel Slocum, that aren't on WikiTree. In case you can't access old news, here's the relevant text. And it goes to say Hannah Tucker, born, married Nathaniel Slocum, lived in Shrewsbury, and then the children with their birth dates. Again, very helpful because there are sites that are paid sites, you can't see it, or newspapers that are out there that you need to have a subscription to. So this is one I believe you found, Lewis. So it's helpful information. So it gives Ellen a place to start with the siblings because they're not already on WikiTree. Sometimes you figure a month is long enough to get people added. It's not really when you have 5 people you're trying to work on. Okay, then we get to Audrey, who's been a WikiTreeer since 2022. She's a member of the Quakers Project, the Global Project, the Connectors Project, the Cemeteries Project, the Appalachia Project, and the U.S. projects. She participates in thons, and she's participated in the 16 for 16 and 17 for 17 missions challenges. And those challenges came about because of WikiTree Week a couple of years ago.
I looked at her profile and my jaw fell when I saw that she has 565,000 contributions.
Yes. Because
I took a look. She likes to add cemeteries to people.
Yes.
Categorizes cemeteries, and she does 1,000 a day.
Yes.
She's been online for 500 days, and she's done over 500,000 contributions.
Yeah, Alesha's made
I'm gonna go to bed now. Thank you.
I believe with WikiTree Plus, there's a way you can pull up reports for the cemeteries and go through and see who has the category for that cemetery on their profile, and you can go through pretty quickly and add it if it's not on there. So that's how some of these people can rack up so many contributions.
I definitely give her credit. Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. And her CC7 on the left when we started was 1935. On the right, when we finished, it was 2275. So you can see the holes in hers on the left, and they're filled in again on the right. And then her fan chart, closer in is filled out. Farther out, there are some holes. Sometimes we just can't find records for those people depending on location and time frame and where. So Ella's I believe this was the first time Ella's joined us for a RAWK, said not exactly the kind of thing you all had in mind here, but I did find it interesting that apparently Audrey and I are 12th cousins. I actually done some work on fleshing out our shared ancestors' cousins earlier today without realizing the RAWK connection, though I'm pretty sure the relatives in question are far enough out that they're not in either of our CC7s. This is the type of thing is that when you're working on your own lines, you can absolutely be helping somebody else out and not realizing it. That's why the connection finder is good, because you can check to see what your connection to somebody is. So then we get to Elaine, who's been in WikiTree since 2016, member of the Appalachia Project, USBH Project, Jewish Roots Project, Holocaust Project, and United States projects. She's attended Roots Tech, and she's created drawings for guest challenges, and her drawings are amazing. They're just amazing. And last year, Elaine, is when you did the project for the Holocaust Project, trying to get all those people added in, or was that earlier this year?
It started last year working for adding everyone to Auschwitz, which was, I had some outreach planned to get more people onto WikiTree. Some of that worked, some of it didn't. So still a long way to go. But anyway, it's an ongoing project which could always use extra help.
Yes, and I started helping with it, and honestly, it was very hard for me because the Holocaust has a direct impact on ancestors for me.
I know, yeah.
So for those that do it, I applaud. I could only do a little bit, and then I just have to stop and take a break because it can be so overwhelming with that. And then with Elaine's, you can definitely see there was profiles added within her CC7. She started at 1806 and jumped up to 4857. Most of that, I believe, was Lewis working on Elaine's branches. I know others were, but I know Lewis did quite a few.
I helped on his thing like 2-3 years ago. What is it called again? The week, the
guest challenge.
I can't think. Yeah, the guest challenge. I didn't add near that many, but anyway, yes, it's fabulous.
Yeah, he was working, and honestly, he was posting so many things that he found, and I'm like, okay, where do I even start, or who do I talk about? So we have Charles Lynch, who your great-great-great-grandmother was known to be Mary Scoggins. Why do I have that on? Oh, she was connected to her great-grandfather, Colonel Charles Lynch, who is a notable and was already on WikiTree. He was a Virginia planter and American revolutionary who headed a regular court in Virginia to punish loyalist supporters of the British during the American Revolutionary War. The terms lynching and lynch law apparently derive from his name. He is 8 degrees from Elaine. So that's got, his stickers that says he's a DAR Patriot ancestor with the name, with his number, and that he served with the Bedford County Militia during the American Revolution. Okay, this is what I mean by Lewis found a lot of information. So I just kind of took some and threw them up here that your great uncle Denton had 3 children before 1844 and 1849 with his first wife, who died in 1849, and then 6 children between 1853 and 1869 with the second wife, who died in 1869, and 5 children between 1878 and 1887 with his third wife, who was 28 years younger than Denton and lived to 1916. That's 14 children from 3 wives over 43 years. So yes, that's definitely while we will see grandchildren, younger than children with that.
Grandchildren younger than siblings. Yeah.
Younger than siblings, yes. And then I love how he said, WikiTree gave this message that I'd never seen before. Caution, unusual information. Is the following correct? A birth date is more than 40 years before and after a sibling's birthday.
Well, it was correct, yeah.
And it was correct because, yes, that does happen when you have the men that are older that marry multiple times and go on. And then an attempted find was Elaine's great uncle is Morency Shelton. So Lewis tried to see if he was related to the tennis star Ben Shelton and his father, tennis star and coach Brian Shelton, who are both in Wikipedia. So they are famous by WikiTree standard, but are not yet on WikiTree. And then I like that, alas, Ben Shelton's line starts in Virginia, and I can't find any connection with Elaine Shelton's in Tennessee. We try sometimes with finding if people are related to notables and find out, no, it doesn't always happen. And then in the 1920 census, Elaine's great-great-aunt, Nanny Wheeler Perkins, is listed twice, once with her husband Perkins and their children Clifton, Clyde, and Maisie, and once with her parents and sister Abby and her children Clifton, Clyde, and Maisie. So I guess we should subtract 4 from the official population of the United States in 1920. I've seen this over and over again where people have asked, can someone be on a census twice? The answer is yes. They're only supposed to be counted once, but if they're at a relative's house or they move from one location to another, depending on when the enumerator gets to that location, they can be counted twice for that year.
I believe that person was listed twice on WikiTree as well, and I had the profiles merged.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured it out. Good catch.
Yeah, because sometimes if you're using a census record as the only source for that person, we will end up with duplicate profiles just for that reason. That's why it's always good to try and find a birth, marriage, and death source also to try and help, because I've seen it where there's a profile for the child with the parents, and then there's another profile with that person and wife and kids. So then we need to go in and merge those 2 profiles. And then Elaine had 3 ancestors that fought in the Civil War. Her great uncle Samuel Fulton fought for the Confederates in the Civil War. He was at 7 degrees. And then her great uncle Solomon Wyrick fought for the Confederates in the Civil War, and Solomon was listed as a prisoner of war. And Solomon's brother Thomas fought as well, but for the Union side, and died in the Battle of Utoy Creek, both at 7 degrees.
Is
So
that usual to have 2 brothers fighting on opposite sides?
I've seen it before. I don't know how common it is.
It definitely happened. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
common. But I don't do a ton of research in that area of time, so I can't say. But yeah, I know it definitely happened. And I had other I have another branch too that had more Union people. But yeah, it's a little unusual to have both in the family. Yes.
Probably because the side they took was location based, where they were living.
Where they signed up, yeah.
If
Or
one's
where they
living in the
signed
north, we're on one side. One's living in the south, we're on the other side.
And no one
Yeah.
in my family had researched the Wyrics before, because I just found that line a couple years ago, but it wasn't the precise brick wall I was looking at, so I didn't go too far with it. But anyway, I didn't know much about these folks because my Aunt Leona hadn't researched them yet, and I hadn't either. So anyway.
Well, now you have a little more information on them. So then we did what degree, thanks to Patty, what degree are the Rockies to each other? And this goes through and puts them. And we always hope that there's changes by the end of the month. And with this group, the slight outcome was basically there were no changes. Elaine and Ellen are still 22 degrees, the same distance, but a different path. And that can happen. Kristen is 2 degrees closer to Joan, and Joan is 3 degrees closer to Ellen. Which can happen. And then I kind of did I did a little different on the chart with this one. So for Joan and Kristen and Ellen, if it changed, the number on the left was the starting, what degree they were, and the number on the right was the ending number of how far they were.
My own connection to Elaine was reduced. I started at 22, and at the end it was down 3 to 19.
Oh, that happens. We can get that. So that's the end, and our next RAWK takes place in December. So the nominating other WikiTree members will take place the beginning of November for nominations, and then about the middle of November we'll do the choosing of who the 5 Rockies will be, and I will notify them to find out whether they're able to participate or not. And so December, I know there's a lot going on with the holidays. So we'll have RAWK all month long. And I know Secret Santa is probably going to be towards the end, but there's plenty of time. So just be on the lookout in beginning of November to nominate people.
Oh, I have a question. Do any of y'all use Ancestry, your family tree on Ancestry, and download? I've never tried to download all the people. I exported a JEDCOM once. I'm trying to think of how to do a matching with, like Lewis Kessler had made a spreadsheet with my family and seeing who we could add to WikiTree and stuff. And I'm trying to think, have any of y'all downloaded all your stuff off of Ancestry and tried to figure out how to match it up?
Okay, can you hear me?
Not phrasing it well. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so I tried in the beginning when Patty convinced me to start doing something on WikiTree. And the first problem I ran into was in trying to create a GEDCOM to bring it up to WikiTree. I had way too many people. I had like 5,000 or 8,000 people on my Ancestry tree. And so WikiTree won't take that many at one time. So I spent quite a while dividing my tree on Ancestry, because unfortunately I had put my husband's family and my family in the same tree. And that's how I got to so many. So there's no easy way to divide a tree in Ancestry. So I ended up going through and trying to delete everything from him, and I made mistakes in doing that. So I didn't automatically upload it. What I've been doing, and actually I was really excited, and I said that to Kathy today. I think I sent her an email. I got to 1601 as of today in terms of my C7 connections. And almost all of them are because of me, actually. I have not linked in to people that are already there. So it's been painstakingly for the last 3 years pulling up 2 screens, one of WikiTree and one of Ancestry, and looking to see what sources I have on Ancestry, and then using the sourcer to recreate those links on WikiTree. It does work, but it takes a long time.
So maybe once you get to like over 2,000 or something, then you're even more likely to connect to people already in the tree. So then you won't have to enter every single one, unless your region is so underrepresented that,
I'm saying to you, I'm up to 1,600 people, and I think I've found somebody already on WikiTree under 10 times. So all of those have been me, except for because of this RAWK, I think I got about 50 more people that people put in.
I feel like I connected to one. The way I worked on yours was I found what our closest connection was, and then clicked on your like degree 5 between us, because I wanted something in America, preferably to work on, because it was just easier. Anyway.
Yeah. So, part of where all the people came from is that not only are 90% of my connections Irish, but so are my husband's. So we're talking about huge families. Anyway, Judy just said she feels my pain. She went through the same thing. So
yeah, I want to answer Patty's question real quickly. Yes, you can nominate more than one person when the nomination G2G post is put up. And you can nominate yourself. There's no problem there. Joan had asked about that. I'd never seen that. I checked with Betsy. She said, that's fine. And I said, well, luckily Ellen stepped up and said, I'll nominate you if I need to. So I was like, yeah, we'll go from there.
And I just thought that if I could get through doing this transfer, then I could go back to doing original research, which I've missed doing because I'm just doing this transferring for 2 years.
For the transferring, do you use the WBE, which is the WikiTree browser extension, and Sorcerer?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Because I know people will ask about GEDCOMs, and because of our system of when you upload a GEDCOM, you have to wait and then you have to compare it. And that takes so long. To me, it's so much quicker using, Sorcerer to, if you have your own Ancestry tree that you have the sources on. Yes, they need to have fewer than 2,000 connections. Thank you, Lewis. And living.
Yeah. When I first uploaded the GEDCOM, Sorcerer didn't exist yet.
Right.
So no, I've switched to that. I haven't tried to upload another JPEG. There's no point
Oh,
for me anyway.
yeah, I tried doing a little one and I gave up and I'm like, nope, that's not for me. And then Rob Pavey developed Sorcerer and it works and he's adding to it. And I know part of Hacktoberfest for this month, people are requesting so many places to use Sorcerer on that he was asking for help because he just can't do it himself. So if you're a tech person and you want to see about adding some stuff to Sorcerer, join Hacktoberfest this month and do it. And Ellen had a little kitty show up.
Patty mentioned that he tags people in ancestral quests when he finds them in WikiTree. Is it possible to do something similar with tags in Ancestry? And yes, I do that actually. When I've find a person or I've created the person, I have my tree tags, and there's a custom one that I just put it as WikiTree, and I just click on it, and that way I'm like, okay, have I already done all these 6 siblings for this person? Well, according to my tree tags, I still haven't done this person. And let me see if it will find in tree.
A different functionality, but WikiTree B extension, not the WikiTree browser extension, has shows the WikiTree icon on yours or anyone else's ancestry tree if the person exists on WikiTree. So like that won't help you keep track of your own tree per se, but yeah, it helps.
Maybe I have that turned off. So I don't see, because I'm on my ancestry tree now and I'm like, I'm not seeing it.
It is helpful because I go into Ancestry and I may see on the family that I may go and see the little WikiTree icon that, to me, because I have it turned on, that I know that person should already be listed in WikiTree, which helps. And the Link Builders project is also helpful, where we're doing links on Ancestry for that person with the person's WikiTree ID. I try to do that on like Family Search, kind of make a note about it. Ancestry, I can put the WikiTree profile on it. And there's lots of other sites that we can also do that. And Azure is, I believe, in charge of that, and she holds. They have videos on the YouTube channel for WikiTree about the Link Builders project and how you can add the WikiTree ID. So, do any of the Rockies have any questions? I know you guys asked for some things and not everything was accomplished, but we can only do so much during the month and trying to find what we can find.
Well, I couldn't find it, so it was kind of reassuring you guys couldn't either.
Yeah.
I did prove that 2 of Elaine's brick walls are in fact brick walls.
Yes.
That's something.
Well, and I guess it has nothing to do with this RAWK, but I did mention to Kathy, I was really excited because I found actual documented evidence that one of my ancestors, John Francois Arnault, actually was here with Lafayette during the American Revolution and was injured. And I found it, unfortunately, it's not part of Rob Pavey's, what you can get on Sorcerer, but it was in the French Navy records that gave the actual dates that he was in the Williamsburg Hospital. So I actually finally have something that's documented that says, yes, he was here then.
Yeah. Anne's asking if anyone found any surprises. Have any of you looked at what was found yet?
I just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Didn't want to spoil this.
I was rocked June of 2024, and I will be honest, I still haven't looked at everything that was found for me. So
I have a lot more people in Texas than I expected. Like I'm from Texas, but everyone more immediately came from Mississippi and further east. So I have deep roots there more through in-laws. But yeah, that was neat to see. It's nice to see familiar names and places. And I still don't know the name of all 254 counties. So actually some things are unfamiliar. But like Central Texas, East Texas, there were a lot more than I expected. So that's neat to see.
yeah. So go out and look at everything that was found, and there's always more to find along the way. So we can keep going and trying.
I've already created a list of CC7s that could be added based off what everyone else found. So I just totally started diving in.
Yeah.
And what I haven't done yet is, and because I figured I would be doing the copying, is I still have quite a few cousins that are alive that I do not have the information of their spouses or their spouses' families on. So I've got a number of C3s and C4s and C5s to go back and pick up. You know,
Yeah.
as opposed to the C7s. I've got quite a few of them still to catch.
Yes. So hopefully everyone is happy with what was found, and if we find more, you know, we can post it, because the G2G post for interesting finds.
He is forever.
Yeah. This goes on and on. So if
Thank you very much, everybody.
that's
Thank you
it,
so much.
Thank you.
I believe we are done for this rock, and look out at the beginning of November for the new post for nominations and for rockers to help. Oh, and Patty did say, I hope that I've proven Joan's previously uncertain relationship to her South African McErney cousins to her satisfaction.
Yes, certainly. Yep. And actually, yeah, that one of them, what I don't know is one of the McInerney, the husband disappeared, but one of the McInerneys ended up in Texas, I believe, and then went back to Ireland and then left and went to South Africa. And
Oh,
that, I think, is with the ones that Patty found. Yeah, I have Irish relatives that went to Australia, no surprise, United States, no surprise, and South Africa. So
Okay.
multiple continents there.
yes, people did travel.
Mhm.
So thank you, Rockies, for accepting the nominations for those that nominated you. And hopefully we did you proud.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Oh, look.
you.
Patty said 3 months later, and he still hasn't followed up on all the clues from his own rock. So it does take a while. So, okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you back here in about 3 months.
Thank you. It was
Bye.
fun.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.